So we're not in this like crazy overprice. It definitely is way higher than average PE. But it's not nuts yet. There is so much happening right now. It's like we're in a ceasefire, but they're still all bombing each other.
Yeah, and it's expanding, right? I mean, Lebanon's got pulled in, the UAE's been pulled in, Iran,
Israel and Lebanon were
America,
blasting it out
Israel.
yesterday.
Bonds are going up because people do not want to hold American debt because we are the most
We got to pay
susceptible
more to hold it.
yeah, and we're the most susceptible to oil. Really, we just need to keep inflation away from Japan. They've already issued, I think, 10% of their reserves and $10 billion to Asia to try to help with this issue.
Welcome to Bullish and Beyond. It's Beery the Bull. I'm your AI co-host. Join myself, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things while we dive deep into the world of stocks, crypto, and how to live a bullish life. It's time to get bullish, and there's no better place to start than right here. Let's dive in.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another incredible episode of Bullish and Beyond.
Let's go.
And you know, I'm always the perma bull, but JT and his crypto den, he is on red today. The stock market's actually hitting new highs like crazy. And the stocks that are related to chips and stuff like that are absolutely going gangbusters. I mean, TSM's hitting new highs. We got Micron hitting all new highs yesterday. We got Rocket Lab just absolutely soaring. So in the backdrop of all these companies making new highs, we also have some bearish issues potentially coming up on the macro side, and JT is going to lay into it on that. I cannot wait to get JT's education. What is going on? Why should we be more bearish coming up, JT?
Yeah, we're bloody today because Bitcoin is at a lower low. We're at 75. We couldn't even break past 78. We got rejected, which was, the only level we had to look forward
Don't like
to.
that.
So don't like that. We're printing lower lows. A lot of that has to do, in my opinion, with the actual macro setup. Bitcoin is a global asset, and we've had direct. I mean, 5% of the network one is Iran. They're
It feels like the globe is on fire. I mean, there is so much happening right now. It's like we're in a ceasefire, but they're still all bombing each other.
Yeah, and it's expanding, right? I mean, Lebanon's got pulled in, the UAE's been pulled in, Iran,
Israel and Lebanon
America,
were blasting
Israel.
it out yesterday.
Yeah, it's growing, and you have the whole China thing we talked about last week. Like, Trump is obviously trying to quell BRICS because they're all a part of BRICS, which is interesting, right? The other economic bloc.
But on the heels of Trump leaving, Putin shows up.
Yeah,
and he got the world treatment too. Sounds like they might be a little more aligned than they play to sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Putin got more out of China than Trump did.
That's scary.
I mean, Trump basically just sold Boeing planes, and
200 Boeing planes. What's that?
Russia's talking about energy support. They're talking about minerals. Like, they feel the heat of our technology. It's a technology race, and technology boils down to energy, right? So it's all about this. The 100%. Superpower that wins that really can win all other wars. Like, imagine they could just decrypt your missile guidance system, turn them around in the middle of the air.
Right back at you.
You're cooked. Yeah, you're cooked. There's nothing you can do. So whoever wins this wins everything. And they're taking it very seriously. And China thinks they can't do it alone, if I had to guess. That's why they want Russia's minerals and stuff, and they'll help Russia with oil because they've been sanctioned for so long. There's like real reasons to work together. So you have this growing superpower, BRICS, and they are growing. And we're attacking them through proxy wars. Venezuela, right, being the second largest oil producer for BRICS, then Iran being the first. Not a coincidence.
I wonder why we're over there, JT. It's not related to oil and the petrodollar, is it?
No, it can't be. It can't be. So all of that's geopolitical madness that is not bullish for anything other than probably the price of oil. And then you have all of the money side of it, We just saw it yields go like a god candle.
Everyone was freaking out about bond yields this last week.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Well, bond yields go up because they need to be priced higher. They need to be a more
Times of
lucrative
uncertainty.
investment. Yeah. So they go up because they're like, hey, I want you to buy my debt. I'll give you a 5%, 5.5%, 6%, 7% yield. So if that becomes your risk-free rate for the entire market, if I can go make 5% in the, basically no risk, the United States government's debt, that's the risk-free rate in the markets, then you should get more demand for the debt. So as yields go up, that actually means demand is going down. It's inversely related. A lot of people confuse that. So bonds are going up because people do not want to hold American debt because we are the most
We
susceptible
got to pay more to hold it.
Yeah, and we're the most susceptible to oil. We just are. Like we are a largely imported country, right? We import 70% of the goods. That has been our strategy. So like we are affected the most by increased oil prices. I'm sure you're feeling that in your gas tanks,
Although export is going up on oil. Sounds like some ships are coming to pick up oil over in the U.S. lately. We're selling our reserves.
I mean, we have to. We're the GCC. If you include,
we're trying to stabilize.
Yeah, there's 20%, a fifth of the world's oil comes out of that little area, the Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Marab, which Iran controls both of with the Houthis and their actual country. So, it's a really uncertain time. And basically, all of this, I've talked about this before, ties to the Bank of Japan. They hold the most amount of our debt. China, Japan,
so we got to make sure we get
Russia,
Japan
Iran.
some oil then.
Yeah, they have sold collectively almost $1 trillion of our bonds in the past 2 years. So
yeah, it's a lot.
They're dumping, and Bank of Japan's interest rate is going up, and they have
highest
issued
ever,
a
right?
warning
In 30
about
years or something.
Yeah, last time it happened was 2007. There's not a coincidence. When their interest rate goes up, the carry trade we talked about in a few episodes past basically starts getting thinner, thinner. The banks that have our mortgages, they're in the carry trade. So they have all of these, yield bearing instruments from Japan on their books in the yen, which is, doing awfully. And their yields went up almost to 3%, the highest it's been in more than 30 years. So
it seems low for us, but very high for them.
Very high for them. They're in stagflation. It's scary, actually.
Yeah.
So the carry trade is collapsing. And that's causing people to have to unwind their collateral, which would be the bonds. So it actually has a perpetuating almost acceleration.
Starts going faster. Yeah, accelerates.
That's right. Because as that gap gets smaller and smaller and smaller, more liquidations, and it can get really scary. And then the banking system who runs this game is in the hole almost $500 billion still. The banking crisis, it's not in headlines, but it's still here. If we all ran to our banks today, they would be insolvent, right? They are parked in real estate that's not moving.
So don't pull your money out. Keep it invested.
Yeah, they need to exist. They do, and there's a lot of things I could see where I still believe there could be a rate hike this year, and the reason why people really care about the bonds, and it's all like people are waking up to this.
I wonder if the market's starting to price that in at all.
Maybe. They poly market's up almost.
You told me the poly market
20%.
percentage, went from 8 to high 20s.
Yeah, 27. It is totally possible because the PPI print. I mean, that's probably the first thing that has made people start looking places for, this is not great.
It's basically just oil, though, just to clarify. The oil is driving the price up. So if we stop the war tomorrow, the problem is it's going to take months and months to replenish the oil supplies and get back to normalcy. I don't know how long that would take, but it sounds like it's a 3 to 6 month event.
Yeah, it takes 12 weeks for the boats to get across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So, it would take months. Absolutely. It's sketchy. I'll just put it that way. PPI almost being twice the target and it's a leading indicator for CPI. It printed at 6%. So
yeah, that'd be scary if
it
CPI
is
went up that much. Let's see what happens.
it is reasonable to expect CPI to hit 4, 5, or 6% in the next 60, 90 days.
Okay.
Right? First, the producers, the manufacturers, the
Yeah.
logistics companies, they
Has to go
update their pricing.
down the channel.
Yeah, and as you've seen, we started this.
So it hasn't really hit the supermarket as much yet. That's 2-3 months from now when the supermarket price changes.
And we're going to feel it, and it's not going to stop. It just takes time. PPI usually leads by a quarter.
So at the same time that the PPI is hitting these new highs, the stocks are hitting new highs as well. And when it's supposed to be when the bonds go up, the stocks go down, but it's not happening.
Unfortunately, do you know the last time that happened?
2007.
Nope.
1999.
There you go.
There you go.
This is the.
However, the stock market is not overvalued. It's not like 1999 overvaluation though, because I've been looking into this a lot. The average, PE. I forget if it was the S&P or the Dow, whatever one I was looking at, is 39. And back when in 1999, the average PE was like 214 or something crazy. So it was just so out of whack. I mean, we're talking 4 to 5x multiple on the PE. So we're not in this like crazy overpriced. It definitely is way higher than average PE.
Yeah.
But it's not nuts yet.
I think it's happening right now because you have people that are stressed financially. So they're almost looking at investing like gambling. You see this expressed in crypto, with meme coins, but you also see it with GameStop revenues, DraftKings. You start looking at all of these social indicators. People need something to hit. There's a desperation to it. And they're at almost $1 trillion.
Some of these chip stocks are trading like memes. I mean, Micron yesterday just passed $1 trillion. They went up 20% in a day because an analyst raised his price target. The analyst, to be fair, raised the price target enormously. He doubled his price target. So it's kind of funny how that works. But the companies are printing these really crazy earnings. If you look at the PEs of some of these companies that are growing their stock price by a couple 100% per year, it's because their profits are actually growing by that or more. So it's justified in some ways. Like we're back doing the 1999 comparison again. These companies were like maybe they had revenues but they weren't profitable, or they just had an idea and stuff like that. It's like no, now we have real profits. These things are being bought and used, and we don't know when that AI trade is going to unwind or slow down. I mean, NVIDIA's CEO last week said it's actually increasing demand far beyond what they even thought compared to last year. So he's raising his own internal targets. So it's like the demand is seemingly never ending in this current period. It's only looking like it's higher for all these chip and RAM type products.
100%. I think the issue that this highlights, this specific chart we're talking about, because I agree with you, those differences are 100% valid. It's more about a structural issue between the debt and equity markets.
Okay.
And it's this bearish backdrop that I've constantly risen that is starting to work its way into the markets, right? Before I was theory crafting, throwing shit against the wall, see what sticks. And now we're seeing the results of these geopolitical tensions. It's playing out. And what it looks like is inflation with less jobs, because the technology, for the first time in existence, the reality of having record GDP growth, having 12% GDP growth, and also 12% unemployment, that has never happened economically. And now that's on the table. So that's going to be expressed in ways we can't imagine. And I don't envy the Fed, who's going to have to navigate this. But I just see jobs consistently getting lower and lower and lower.
I mean, they're constantly cutting. Meta announced 8,000 job cuts just yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. At the same time, though, I am, I'm the perma bull here. I am bullish on so many more job sectors that it's hard to even theorize, what they are. And the one difference is though, these are not like low skilled jobs in my opinion. It's going to be more like, working with, robots and engineering, new robotic systems and stuff like that. So they're pretty high skilled jobs, but I think there's a lot more of those to come.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a world where there's 50% unemployment, right? But I think there will be a more normal number of 10, 12, 15.
Yeah.
I think we're going to net lose more than we create, but you're also going to have that repurposing. And you've also had companies basically have to hire
I
back.
think
Like
there's a
they,
downturn before the big upturn. Like, yeah, they're going to lose jobs faster,
yeah,
but then will be this, whole new sector of jobs that, comes out for the future.
yeah, like, I think most software people will turn into prompt engineers where they're just managing agents. Then you'll have the builders and then the prompt engineers. The builders actually build the agentic workflows. They're building everything. The issue though is if you have that setup, that is two people working on what used to take maybe 100 people to do.
You're right. That's saying two people are running a 200-person
Literally.
agentic company.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You could have every department with that setup where you have one guy
Yeah.
building, the other guy managing and using whatever was built.
I mean,
Right. So,
the CEO of OpenClaw says he has like 300 agents that he personally runs or something.
yeah, I mean, once you get to that
Insane.
crazy level, yeah, it's pretty wild. Once you have the funds as well to buy the tokens, you can just do whatever you want. And it's only going to get cheaper and it's going to accelerate. So there's this, it's almost like we're building a city on top of glass. There is a weight limit, right? Not that we can't have beautiful glass floors and everything's going to be great. It's just we can't build too much. And the issue with the equity is getting this even if the valuations are reasonable,
Yeah.
the number keeps going up and then people keep getting, I mean, leverage. You have a line of equity out on
Absolutely.
your portfolio. And if
And I
everyone
use
with
leverage
money does
because
this,
my equities go way faster than my line of credit costs me.
right? And if the debt, the financing instruments, the banks have an issue, there could be a systemic risk to the stock market.
That could be a
I believe
problem.
that's what
If
happened in
banks called the
'08.
debt, it would be a major issue.
It happened in '08. It had nothing to do with the housing market. It had everything to do with the debt of the housing market and how it was being used, how it was being structured, how it was
Yep.
being speculated on, right? And all of those
The
games
speculation
that
was the
Wall
killer
Street,
because there's so many of these levered derivative products that, they just made up out
that's
of
right.
nowhere on these bad mortgages. It was wild.
I mean, we have a public one called strategy. Like it's in our faces. People are running games like this, and that's the public one. That's the one that makes sense publicly because public shares have
Yep.
more financing utility than private shares. But we don't know what all of these people are doing with their debt. And it's getting more and more expensive. If they've not priced in 6, 7% yields on, and they think it's
No,
4, I think
I
it's
don't
going
want
to be
the yield. I don't want it to go back up. That would, crush my borrowing.
exactly. And I think there's a possibility that that could happen. And in that situation, this glass floor, that would be the weight limit. So I think it's real
Yeah.
like
Yeah, if it
it's
goes up
always
2%, that's
after
going to kill a lot of trades.
it's always after the hike. Like you can go look at the interest rates and the gray bars on Fred. It's always after the hike, the unexpected hike.
I'm hopeful it
And
doesn't get
Trump,
there. If we stop this war tomorrow
me
and the
too.
CPI and stuff
Yeah.
goes up more, I hope that the Fed governors can see that it'll come down again. Like, all right, so yeah, we would have this increase, but it'd be semi-artificial. It would, round out and come back down again.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's what I'd be looking
I
for.
that's what I'd be looking for too. The major thing to watch on this is going to be it sounds crazy, but the Bank of Japan's interest rate. If that goes
Key off
up,
of that.
it gets worse. It
Okay.
just does. So the biggest thing we can do is reduce inflation in Japan because
By sending them
they're
oil.
yeah, we should give them free oil. Like they should be getting their PPI as low as possible. Like that should be honestly their treasurer secretary, that should be the
It's
only thing
crazy that
that
would
dude's worried about.
It's crazy that will change everything in the US, what's going on in Japan. I mean, we live in such a globalized world right now. I mean, I think that most people worry so much just about themselves or their family. It's like, man, it is all so connected. It's not just the US, it is literally
So
around the world at this
connected.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
it's
have to
so
prop everyone
connected.
up.
Yeah, and if you're real curious about this, the median home price, right, of houses sold in America, it is down. It printed another quarter. It is down 9%. '08 was 16%. We are over halfway
Oh,
to that
wow.
level of a
I didn't
correction.
realize that.
It started
Because
going
home prices
down
are
the
still so high,
moment.
though.
Yeah, they're still high, but they're down. You can go look on Fred.
So is
The
this good or
reason why
bad?
this is
I
happening.
understand the technical reason it's bad because it means, the economy's not doing as good. But on the other side, the affordability side for people, I hear that young people now can't buy homes because they're just getting priced out of it. That you have to
It's
put
going to
more
get
money
it's going
down
to get
now.
worse when
And
mortgages
the
are
home
up.
prices doubled.
Yeah. A whole generation's getting priced out not by just how much money they've printed, but also how I mean, right now, mortgages are at a 20 something year high, 6.2% is the average now. So mortgages are going to keep going up, which is why the median home price keeps going down. The reason why Bank of Japan's interest rate matters is because the majority of our debt is held by Japan. So when they unload
Yep.
and increase their rates, then our debt has to increase the yields. And then how do they price mortgages? The 10-year yield. So if
Yep.
Japan goes up, our 10-year yields go up, which prices mortgages higher. And in that scenario, when you have these higher mortgages, your median home price is going to go down because it becomes a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So this trend will continue until this gets situated. And the only way that happens is to prevent Japan from increasing rates, which comes from inflation, which is all
Wow.
started by the Iran war. So really, we just need to keep inflation away from Japan. They've
Yeah.
already issued I think 10% of their reserves and $10 billion to Asia to try to help with this issue. So
Crazy.
they have 8 months of reserves because they understand this dependency. They actually have the most reserves of any country because of this. And
They
they
know
are
it's
now
coming.
almost 4 months out. They get 95% of their oil from the GCC. They are 4 months away. They do
They
that
need
for
it.
the discount. Yeah. So, I mean, even if it ended today, Japan still has 4 months of ships that are
That
stuck.
is the issue. As much as Trump's pumping, to try to close the war for the oil prices at the pump, it's not as fast as he's making it out to be.
Yeah, no, it will take. I mean, the retail and the headlines, they won't care, right? But it will
Yeah.
take time. It will. So, really important stuff to watch. That's where my mind's at. I have not deployed anything in my fund. I think we have more room to go down from a crypto or commodity perspective. Uh, then I think it'll
It's
be the
interesting how you mentioned
craziest.
that the mortgage price, really drives that buyer's market because it seems like it almost be the other way, but I really understand why it is that way. And it's like when the mortgage rate goes up, people don't want to sell because they can't buy anything else for a good price. Which makes it's like, all right, well, I'm looking for a home, but then I have to pay more money on my mortgage. So it's like almost like a catch 22. It's almost like the prices both parties out of the market to some extent.
Yeah,
I would think
the
I think it would
10-year
really slow down the market.
the 10-year is very important. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how that works. I mean, you can buy a five for people that don't understand why that matters. If you have a $500,000 home, and I'll do $1 million home just to make the math a little bit easier, and it's 5%, right? That's going to cost you 50 grand in interest a year.
Yep.
If you have it at 3%, 30 grand, 20 grand difference between that 2% on $1 million home breaks down to more than 1,500 a month. So just cut that in half. You're talking about
Percent
another
wise, it adds up
800.
quick.
Yeah, you're talking about at a $500,000 home, you're talking about 800 to 1,200 extra a month. So it just starts really hurting the buyer base. And then you have the sellers looking at an
Yeah.
increased lively, for the same kind of house, or if they want to roll their equity into a bigger house, they're now looking at more living
A much
expenses,
bigger
which will
payment.
deter. Yeah, unless they got a promotion or something great is happening, they're not going to do that.
I know.
So
I was hoping
it
rates were
just
going to come
makes
down so I could refi my current house, but it hasn't happened.
that's
Or not
another
enough.
thing.
I
Like,
mean, maybe a quarter point or something,
yeah,
but it wouldn't make sense.
right. There's almost 10 trillion in equity in homes that kind of need lower rates. That's one of Trump's initiatives. He wants to get that money in the market. And
He was talking about doing that crazy mortgage. It was a 50-year mortgage or something like that. I mean, you pay way
yep.
more interest, but it's lower monthly payments. And
Yeah,
a lot of investors honestly just want lower monthly payments. A lot of them don't even care what the rate is. Like, well, if I can just pay less, I'm going to flip it in 3 or 5 years anyways.
Yeah,
It's all about the
exactly.
cash on cash.
Like with anything, retail gets screwed the most because
I
you're going to
know.
pay a bank $1 million for a $600,000 home in interest.
It's
real.
wild.
Go to an amortization calculator.
But most people
and just play
don't. Most
with
people
the
don't hold
50-year.
it though. Like, I mean, the average person I think holds a home for like 6 or 7 years. That's the number.
That's why the mortgage is priced on the 10-year. Yeah, it's 7.8 years.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
I think I saw something in Florida, or maybe it's
but
where I live. I was talking to my real estate team about it recently, and it was like right around 6 years was like the sweet spot. I don't know if that was a Fort Lauderdale or a Florida number.
It could be. I mean, it's fast money down there, so you're going to see longer or shorter based on the economies of that state.
It's crazy that some of the highest properties down here are like selling quickly, but like a nice $5 million house might not sell as fast, but these ones that are like 30 million, people are just snatching up.
It is. I mean, who wins more? Someone that has 5 million of Nvidia or 5,000 of Nvidia, right? Like
that is the name of the game.
Money makes money. Size matters. So
this. And if anyone listening wants to move down to Florida, happy to help them out. I only want to do waterfront homes, so you got to go big. I'm bullish on doing waterfront, everyone.
Yeah, as it should be. The commission's nicer as well, so
it's a better way to live. If you want to come down to Florida, you got to live right.
Well, I've spent time exactly where you're at. It is hard to beat. Hard to beat, for sure. Unless you don't like salt water. Lake life is very similar. You just don't get haircuts, bars, groceries all off a yacht. That's pretty crazy. You don't even need a car.
Some people are scared of sharks down here. Most of them are friendly. I'd say come on in.
Yeah. I feel weird after swimming in salt water all day, personally. I like the lake, but
like the lake life?
The ocean too. Okay. I do. It's pretty cool. I forget about it. It's summer now. I spend my time there more. You guys will start seeing the raccoon.
Well, JT's so in his crypto den so often. We got to get him out and over the lake.
Yeah. That's a Saturday.
Maybe we'll get a pod episode on the water sometime.
That'd be cool. We're both on the water. Make that happen.
That'd be interesting.
You'll have to be close to shore probably with the internet.
That's true. I do not have any like offshore Starlink or anything like that.
Yeah. Come on, Brian. You're behind the times.
At some point, it's going to be in space. I mean, we keep investing in Rocket Lab. We'll have enough money one day to go record in space and be using all these space satellites. So the one reason Rocket Lab has been the talk of the town and soaring so much is this SpaceX IPO is imminent. They're targeting June 12th, talking $1.75 trillion valuation. Right now the private market valuations are right around 1.5, so pretty close to that, public market valuation they're trying to get, which seems so wild to be the largest, IPO in the history of the world. So that's pretty cool. But space right now it really is that next frontier. Like we're looking at doing AI in space. Elon's talking about it. Jensen Huang from NVIDIA is talking about it. You got the Blue Origin CEO Jeff Bezos talking about it. Like it is coming. So if people don't realize it, you better start looking into it because it's happening and people are already planning on it. They're making chips right now that are coming out in the next 2 years that will be literally ready to go to space. They'll have all the qualifications for that. And the reason everyone wants to go to space because it's free energy. That sun spits off solar power all day long, and we're gonna suck it up, and we're gonna power all these AI chips. So we're gonna have these, million satellite configurations in the future that are just churning out tokens and doing it for free with the sun's power. And I think that SpaceX will be the #1 launch company in the world for that product. Elon owns the entire channel. He's gonna power his XAI and everything else off it. Genius play. Bezos has the largest ship similar to SpaceX's ship that's currently in production but not out yet. Rocket Lab is one step lower. But I mean, that is the only other play that I'm seeing in that space. So they are going to get so much business. I just won another contract last night. Stock went up crazy pre-market. It was about even before this call today. But they're going to be so hot, I think, for the next few years because this space trade, it basically hasn't even started yet. Like no one's launched an AI satellite yet. And we're launching these ones to do communication, the Starlink, and there's a bunch of other companies like Global Star and stuff like that have satellites. But I mean, we're just literally I think we're in the second or third inning of the AI trade. I think we're in the, first batter of the space trade. Like it is literally that early. It's like almost hard to even explain. Yeah. Like the money in space isn't going to happen until the 2030s. So it's like now is this like, it's like pre-revenue almost at this point, even though they are making money, just to clarify.
No, I mean, I agree with that analysis. How else do you get exposure to it? It is Rocket Labs and they're the furthest along. I love Rocket Labs for that. If AI is
up 120% this year.
No, I mean, that's,
wild.
Dude,
wild.
What weight of your portfolio is in Rocket Lab? I'm sure it's growing. You don't trim.
I just checked yesterday. It's about 10%. But my investment into it was only 0.5%. It's literally 20x'd. Wild.
I had a similar thing with XRP. I put 2% in and it grew to I think it was up to 12% or something crazy. Wow. So it wasn't as crazy, but I was just like, what in the world? Why are you this second?
So nuts.
Like, why are you higher than ETH in my portfolio? Like it almost felt like overnight. It went from 30 cents to 90 cents to 240. So
I feel the same way. I mean, Rocket Lab's doubled in the last month, basically. So it's up like 90%. And I am not trimming. Crazy. If anyone is curious out there, because I have friends that are asking me to listen to the podcast of like, hey, are you trimming your position? Should I add to it? And I am not trimming. This is a ride that has just begun. It is not too late to get in. If you invest today, it could go down 10% tomorrow. I'm not saying it couldn't do that. It's a very volatile stock. But long term, we are just getting started on this rocket ship ride. And I'm very excited about it. This is my #1 pick for the year. So yeah, it's like doing everything I thought it would. We have more room to run, everyone.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Pretty sweet.
My pick for the year was oil. So as a macro guy.
100%.
Nailed that. You
did.
I don't have a pick in crypto right now. I wish I did. I wish I could go get oil in my fund. It's like I want to accumulate the top 30 that I love, that are my A tokens that I know are going nowhere. That's all I'm doing. I'm just adding to positions. These are great opportunities to buy. I'm not doing that yet because I do think we have deep value. And which is really interesting in crypto. When you have fair value, the returns are generally 4 to 6x. Like if you were to go right at like back in the previous bear market, if you were buying at 23 to 21, right? Or like maybe 30, you were right in the fair, like that's a fair price. It's a great buy long term, great buy. If the difference between a 4 to 6x and then buying at the very bottom or in 10X. Deep value, 22.
What?
It's like 18 to 24.
Wow.
It is a dramatic difference. Buying Solana at $30 compared to $8, buying Ethereum at $800 compared to $1,600. Like, as you go down, I'm looking for deep value. A lot of these things I
So
think
don't
are
add too
still
much to it right
overpriced.
now. Maybe just, you
Yeah,
know,
just
small
chip
a little
away at
bit.
it.
Yeah.
I We can't escape the
I bought a
underpinnings of the
new
macro.
I bought a new coin actually a couple days ago. Let me tell you what it is. I'm not the crypto guy, so we'll
Let's
get
hear it.
JT's analysis on this.
Let's hear it.
Zcash. ZEC.
Damn. Oh no, it's in your world. It is spreading. I'm a fan of Zcash.
I was reading about it, and that, for whatever reason, it caught my mind, and I'm up a little bit already. But
I think Zcash has one. I don't think it's a bad hold. I got it at a B token. It's
I don't
on
think
my
it had a lot
watch
of
list.
utility.
It doesn't have a ton. It just has one utility that is very valuable, which is basically making your Bitcoin private, completely private. So
That was the
right
difference. Yeah.
now, yeah, it is a fork or a copy of Bitcoin. They've worked on it since 2014. They released the token in 17.
But
It was a dead
everyone's gonna have it
project.
private in the future. Like, I mean, wouldn't that make like why would I ever want to use Bitcoin publicly if I was someone that didn't, I don't want people to know what I was sending to my other person. Like, I wanted it to be private. Like, wouldn't everyone want to use Zcash?
Yeah, I mean, you have counterparty risk in a way because for you to get Bitcoin into the shielded pool, you redeem ZEC. ZEC could have more price volatility than Bitcoin. So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
it's not perfect in that sense yet. They're working on
Would
that.
you lose more during the
Um,
transfer process?
it depends on when you unshield it, essentially.
I'm saying like that
Yeah.
like percentage that you need to like. I guess the buy and sell spread on that is it much greater maybe than Bitcoin? Maybe that could
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't care, do you care if they know what's in your 401k? No. So I mean,
No, this isn't for me.
it
I'm thinking
doesn't.
of someone out there that's
Yeah.
maybe doing something illegally, or maybe they just don't want people to know what they're doing,
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, that would probably be, I think, maybe 20% of who would use Zcash. I think the rest
Okay.
of it primarily would be people that have Bitcoin that is, not quantum safe and they want to make it quantum safe. Zcash will probably be the
Okay.
first quantum compliant blockchain, if I had to guess.
Wow. Well, that would be
They
huge.
spent, yeah. So I could see the demand for ZEC getting greater.
Well, people are
When they
talking
do that,
about
they're
quantum
already,
computing now breaking Bitcoin. So it seems like as that theory takes more traction, that would be a big reason to go into the Zcash.
yeah, massive. And I think as the government gets more authoritative, I think once blockchain potentially is used internationally, I don't think it'll happen in America, but internationally as CBDC and like a vector of control, it will increase in demand. Like I just think it
Okay.
is if you're long on governments getting more authoritarian, they've only done that over the
It
past
seems
100 years. Don't know why
inevitable.
you wouldn't be. Yeah, I would think privacy becomes more important, and then ZEC would be the
Yeah.
front runner of that movement. It is still like super early for them, and they do
Okay.
have serious turnover. Like I was in their GitHub not too long ago. All of their core contributors from the beginning do not contribute anymore. They've had multiple VCs come in and out. They have leadership
Oh,
issues. There's
that's a
problems
bad
with
sign.
ZEC. Yeah, there's problems with them. That's why it's a B token. But what I can say, it is the most advanced and secure zero knowledge chain out here, outside of maybe what layer twos are doing for Ethereum. Like
Okay.
it's a pretty remarkable product and engine they've made for Bitcoin. I think it's a reasonable expectation that it gets 5-10%. Maybe just the criminal organizations that use Bitcoin, they're like, oh, it can be private now. Like maybe it gets 5 or 10% of the market cap of Bitcoin and it can stabilize and be a store of value for those individuals or people that just want to obfuscate what they're doing for whatever reason. Privacy is a human right.
Yep.
Um, you know, or they want to avoid
Some good
state
theories there to
forfeiture and
make it go
seizure.
up.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad project. Like I said, I have it at a B. Um,
Okay.
and I'm a very harsh critic, so B is good. I will invest in B
Maybe a B
tokens. If it's
plus.
C, I'd with the team, I'd put it at like a B minus. The team
Okay.
scares
All
me
right. Good to
for
know.
sure.
The
Yeah,
team's
like the
everything when it
team.
comes to a company. I won't invest in a company that has a bad team. The reason I have Apple number 1, Nvidia number 2, Tesla number 3, I love the team. I mean, Tesla has
Right.
a lot of turnover, but the head guy
Yeah.
stays there. So
Everyone that's moved in, from what I've listened to a few of the people on podcasts, they seem great. It's a long
okay,
project, lots of history, lots of drama. Um, it's mainly that people didn't have a vision and they couldn't agree on what needed to be built. They just raised $25 million. Now, in the past, I think 3 or 4 months, there's this ZODL, whole movement, and they have ZODL Labs, which is like the meme HODL, but for Zcash.
got it.
And, they're working on building applications on top of it, making the shielding process a lot easier. They now have direction with this investment, but
Okay,
it is a
so maybe
new,
getting better.
fresh.
New
Yeah, I mean,
team. New
this is
team has new
almost
risk.
this. Yeah, it's almost like Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs was a wreck. He's a mess, a visionary, right? That I would describe the the team prior to that, very dynamic and very explosive. I mean, if you just go look at some of the tweets from the people at the time, like
A little
they
crazy.
basically are the craziest of crypto people. They believe that we're going towards dystopia, mark of the beast, all of that. So there's just a lot of just childish
Okay,
drama there. And they finally have real venture money behind them,
I don't
and
want
they
to believe
basically
that.
have put
I
their
don't. I don't like.
people
I don't
in
like that
there.
scenario.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. But with this new venture capital and some of the big venture, Electric Capital being one of them, like they have a strong chance of doing well. It's a new fresh page for them, and
Interesting.
there's a lot more to see. But I could see, I mean, it's one of the tokens I'll add to the portfolio when I see the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
It's on my
When you
watch
see
list
it,
for
let
sure.
everyone
I
know.
like Zach.
Well,
I'll
thanks
let
for
you
the
know when
deep
I buy
dive
it
on
for
that.
sure.
That was cool. I only picked up a few
Yeah, of
coins, and
course.
now I learned a lot more about it.
I know a lot about a lot of tokens. That's my job. I'm a generalist.
JT knows things,
I
everyone. If you're not following him, he is JT Knows Things. That is his handle, and he knows a lot. Love it.
I know a lot of things.
I am bullish
don't
on
think I'm
JT's
autistic,
knowledge.
but I appreciate it. Yeah. I know too much, probably. I'm going to be killed one day.
Well, I love it. Everyone needs to tune in for more of this. I mean, we keep bringing knowledge, whether it's about the war, the right stocks that are trending right now, or Zcash. There is so much more we can dive into next episode. This has been another incredible one. Hope people got some great takeaways here. Let us know in the comments what you love the most about this episode, and make sure to subscribe, everyone. Cheers. Until next time.
Next time, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bulls. That's a wrap on today's episode of Bullish and Beyond. Remember, the market never sleeps, and neither should your ambitions. Whether it's stocks, crypto, or just leveling up in life, stay focused, stay bullish, and keep charging forward. Keep your energy high and your mindset bullish. This is Beery the Bull, your AI co-host, Brian the Mac Man, and JT Knows Things signing off. All content published by Bullish and Beyond, LLC reflects personal opinions only and is provided for informational purposes. Please conduct your own research and discuss with your accountant and/or financial advisor before making any financial decisions. The information presented should not be taken as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. Nothing you hear, see, or read in our content should be considered as any form of financial, investment, or legal advice, or a solicitation to buy or sell any assets, or to make any financial decisions.